Hello, and welcome back to online English class, honors and regular English 1 students. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be using the screen record function to help us work through our Unit 5 review guide in preparation for your Unit 5 test, which is about Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, which we will be writing on Monday and Tuesday of next week. It will be due Tuesday at 3 p.m. All right, so make sure that you've downloaded that review guide, that you're working through it, spending some time with it over the weekend, spending some time with it on Monday, and then writing that test on Monday, the evening of Monday, perhaps, and Tuesday morning, getting ready to turn that sucker in by 3 p.m. on Tuesday. Okay, so obviously throughout the course of this week, we've been focused intently on finishing OTN 9, which analyzes the Wife of Bath's tale. We worked through all of these key passages and it led us to some conclusions, some thematic conclusions about the nature of the Wife of Bath's value system and the ways in which Chaucer is satirizing that value system through primarily his development of two important characters, the lusty knight and the old wife or the old hag. Okay? So today, what I want to do is I want to look at your review guide and talk about how you can prepare for that test that's coming up on Monday and Tuesday of next week. All right. So first of all, right, because we have honors and regular students watching the same video, I just want to unpack the difference between these two review guides really quickly. All right. There is one major substantial difference between these two review guides. It's very simple. If you're in honors, all right, you have a significant amount more of preparation. Okay, you have 3 prompts that you need to master. Normally, there's actually 4 or 5 actually when we include the Partner's Tale. But because we've skipped the Partner's Tale, there are 3 prompts that you need to prepare for. Okay, 2 from the Knight's Tale, 1 from the Wife of Bath's Tale. If you're in the regular course, then you get to focus all of your preparation on one prompt. Okay, you get to focus your entire preparation around one of these prompts. You can talk about the characterization of Theseus and how it satirizes the value system of the knight. You can talk about the characterization of Arthite and Palamon and how it satirizes the value system of the knight. Or you can talk about the characterizations of the old wife and the lusty knight as they satirize and illustrate the value system of the Wife of Bath. But unlike the honor students, you do not have to prepare for all 3. You just need to prepare for 1. So here's the second question that I know I'm going to get. Do we get a note card? The answer to that question is yes. You may have a note card on your test, but you may not have access to anything else like your notes or your OTNs. On that note card, I would highly recommend that you, whether you're in the regular or honors class, draft outlines, sample thesis statements, and then outlines of what you're going to discuss in your body paragraphs and the specific textual evidence that you're going to be discussing in those body paragraphs. Okay? So if you're in the regular course, then you just need to outline one response for one prompt. Whereas if you're in the honors course, you probably need to spend your time on that note card, making sure that you have reasonable outlines for all 3 of these prompts. So obviously, if you're in the honors course, you've got some more preparation to do, and but you also obviously are rewarded for that extra work with some GPA boost. Okay, if you're in the regular course, you have a diminished workload, all right, but you don't get that GPA boost. Okay, so obviously that's how that works. We already all know that, but I just want to explain that difference. Okay, so the commonalities are in the skills that are being assessed and also the prompts that I'm asking you to think about in this particular test. Okay, so let's think about these prompts and break down the assignment that is implied in the language of the prompt. Okay, so first of all, you're going to use a selection of at least. All right, that implies that you need to use at least 3 key portions. All right, so key scenes. I do not mean like one sentence. I mean key portions or sets of lines or scenes that are important in developing the meaning of the narrative as a whole. Now, whose job is it to find those portions of the narrative? It's yours. That's part of the studying process, is you exercising judgment and showing your mastery of the text by selecting key portions that are actually indeed, ready, key, all right, that are actually indeed relevant for defending your interpretive thesis about the ways in which Chaucer is satirizing or ironically mocking the value system of the knight through, all right, this element of the knight's narration, the characterization of Theseus. Okay, so this language implies that you could certainly use more than 3 key portions, and you might even need more. It just depends on what your thesis is. It depends on what you are saying, right? That's going to affect radically the extent to which you need to rely on textual evidence and what kind of textual evidence you'll need in order to support your interpretive assertion. Okay, so this is not a one-size-fits-all kind of essay. It all depends on the kind of claim that you're making in your thesis. All right. So what does this aspect of the prompt require you to do? Well, pretty much 2 things. It asks you to answer one question first. How is Theseus characterized throughout the course of the knight's tale? Okay, so how does the knight, the narrator, choose to develop and illustrate Theseus as a character? What does Theseus value? What does Theseus represent? All right, what is Theseus meant to be read as a representation of in the knight's tale? That's the first question that you need to answer. How is Theseus characterized, right? Now, the second thing that you need to, the second question that you'll need to answer in your thesis and also tie together in your body paragraphs is how Theseus's characterization is used as a tool to satirize, to both illustrate and to satirize, all right, the value system of the knight. Okay, so how does this entity that was created by this narrator illustrate this narrator's value system? What does he value? What does he believe? All right, what is his worldview? What is his ethical or moral commitments that we can see in the narrative? All right, establish a clear interpretation of that, and then explain to me how this mocks or satirizes this value system. Okay, so how is Theseus characterized, and how does Theseus's characterization, right, satirize the knight? All right, so those 2 questions need to be addressed in your thesis statement. Very similarly, all right, the second prompt asks you a similar kind of question, except for instead of Theseus, it focuses on Arcite and Palamon. Okay, so again, a very similar kind of question there, but asking you to focus on 2 other important characters and to think about how these important characters also illustrate something that Chaucer is satirizing about the knight's value system. Okay, now the prompt for the Wife of Bath's tale, again, same basic logical structure, same basic kind of thesis that you would need to construct, except for the subject of the essay changes. All right, we move from investigating the knight's value system and the ways in which Chaucer satirizes the knight's value system to the Wife of Bath. All right, and the primary entities of the Wife of Bath's narrative that I want you to focus on are obviously the wife, the old wife, and the lusty knight. Okay? So you'll need to be ready for any one of those 3 prompts. If you are in the regular course, you need to select one of those 3 prompts. So hopefully your brain's already churning and you're already deciding what you want to write about. Okay, now regardless of if you're in the honors course or the regular course, I'm going to be looking for a certain mastery of these composition skills. Okay, the first composition skill that I want to see that you've mastered is the overarching essay writing and editing process. Okay, so the first step of the essay writing process is generating ideas. All right, in other words, analyzing the prompts and making sure that you understand what is being asked of you in each one of the prompts. All right, the second thing you need to do is developing a central claim, all right, your CC. That's your thesis statement. That's going to be your claim that answers all of the aspects of the prompt, all right? It identifies those three key portions, at least, that you are going to be discussing. It interprets, all right, how Theseus is characterized in the narrative, okay? And it also, finally, articulates and interprets, most importantly, how this character development satirizes the value system of this individual, okay? So you'll need to identify what the knight values, all right, and you'll need to articulate the fact that Chaucer is satirizing that value system. Understood? Same thing with the wife of Bath. All right, after you develop your central claim, you'll have to gather evidence. After you gather your evidence, obviously gathering evidence is going back into your OTNs, going back into the text, and making sure that you are exercising your judgment in order to select relevant pieces of evidence that are going to help support your claim. Fourth, you're going to need to organize that into a logical, coherent pattern. Okay, I would argue most likely that this essay and this essay are a little more difficult organizational challenges because you're going to have to figure out a way to talk about two characters and how these two characters' development over the course of the narrative, all right, in three key areas of that narrative at least, illustrate the narrator's value system and satirize that value system, okay? So you just need to make sure that you're organizing your essay in a clear, logical, coherent pattern. And then finally, right, you just need to write it and rewrite it and edit it, okay? I'm not asking for grammatical perfection like I would on, say, a multi-draft essay, but I am asking you to be able to write or to take the time to make sure that your sentences and your word choices make sense, okay? So spend some time, just a little bit of time, editing and cleaning up your document, all right? So you also need to show me your ability to write an interpretive thesis statement that is properly placed. Where should it be placed? End of your first paragraph. Clearly stated, all right? In other words, it just uses its diction and syntax, its grammatical structure, its word choice is correct and clear. It needs to be defensible. In other words, it needs to be an intelligent reflection on the value system of the knight or the value system of the wife of Bath. All right, please don't tell me that the wife of Bath values, I don't know, like clothing and cloth. All right, because she's a cloth merchant. Yes, that much is obvious. I'm obviously asking you to reflect on her ethical or moral or philosophical or theological commitments. I'm not asking you necessarily to reflect on whether or not the knight likes swords. Okay, you need to show your ability to write body paragraphs. Okay, that offer claims that support your thesis. Okay, evidence that supports your claim, and commentary that explains the relationship between the two. Understood? All right, I need to show your ability to select and use relevant and sufficient evidence. All right, need to show your ability to develop an organizational pattern that is logical in support of what? Your thesis. Okay, and finally, you just need to show your ability to write in words that are readable and clear. Okay, we've got some useful analytical vocabulary, including symbolism, imagery, language associated with the analysis of character, setting. Okay, just what's a setting? All right, narrative voice, first person persona, narrator, or tone are important things, and also obviously satire and language concerning irony. Including dramatic, situational, and verbal. These are all useful things that will help you describe the ways in which Chaucer is satirizing the value systems of the knight and also the wife of Bath. Okay, so that is your Unit 5 review guide. Remember to prepare for each one of the prompts. If you are in honors, remember to prepare for one of these prompts if you're in regular. Remember to review these composition skills. Make sure that when you read through this list, you know exactly what everything means. All right, if you don't, look it up, email me a question. Make sure that you can do all of these things. And then finally, you need to get into the drafting process, working on that note card, making sure that you're outlining your essay. Okay, that's all that I have for you today. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have an excellent weekend. Remember, the test will be emailed to you on Monday morning, and you'll have until Tuesday at 3 p.m. to complete the test. Okay, have a great day.